Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, a weekly gathering of coaches that help a presenter with a short pitch. Our coaches this week include Nathan Gold, Rick Pollack, Stuart Pink, and Massimo Peroncelli. Missing today is Scotty Spursum, and it looks like perhaps also Michael, unless he's joining us a little bit later. We will see. And our presenter today is pretty familiar to at least all of the coaches, and perhaps you, if you have seen a few of the Pitch in the Zones before. It is Scott Peak. Scott has been through Pitch in the Zone a few times, but today he's going to share a new concept. He has pivoted quite a bit in his activities. Scott, welcome back to Pitch in the Zone.
Thank you.
And you are going to present a new project called I Want to Know More About. Just for us that we can put on the right hats, what is the target audience for this pitch?
The target audience is for the home development associations, management companies that manage HOAs, large developments, to bring information to the residents.
All right. And as usual, you know the drill, Scott. It's about 3 minutes, more or less. We are not very picky on that, but try to keep it roughly in a 3-minute window. And you just told us that you are not going to use slides. No. So in that case, you can just jump in whenever you're ready, Scott, and the floor is yours.
I want to know more about starting my own business, Zoom and online meetings. I want to know more about Medicare programs. I want to know more about coordinating home repair projects. People are looking for how-to information without spending all the time researching. Adding Wi-Fi gadgets to the home. They're fun, useful, entertaining, but are they safe? I want to know more about home network security. These value-added programs would benefit the HOA and the 10,000 residents that live here. If this program is accepted, my team would be responsible for finding the presenters. The value-added program would benefit the residents if it's quality programs and well-researched. The 1-hour sessions would be live at the resource center with refreshments and the information that the residents are looking for. It would be live streamed for residents that would not be able to come to the activity center, and it would be recorded so that people could watch it at a future date. This program would be free to the residents and the HOA. We would co-market it between the HOA staff and my staff. We would provide all the information the presenters need, and the presenters would be encouraged to provide a program that is fun, entertaining, and yet informative. The staff would conduct post-session research surveys to see how the programs are accepted, and do research on future programs to make sure the information is what the residents are looking for. The presenters would be encouraged to do the research with residents to make sure that the topic is what is needed. I want to know more about life insurance. I want to know more about becoming a foster parent. This list can go on and on. The HOA wants to provide programs that residents are encouraged to come to and make it fun and entertaining, but yet informative. Let's bring this program to the HOA. Thank you.
All right, Scott. You were very, very good in time here. You actually had a couple seconds even to spare, so perfect timing. Now, before I open the floor to feedback, let me ask you very briefly, Scott, because this sounds like a creative and innovative kind of project that you came up with here. What do you consider to be the coolest aspect of it? What is the most exciting aspect of it? I'm
I
just
think
curious.
the best, I would say the most innovative part of this is to really look at bringing the right speaker, the value of the subject matter experts to the residents that are looking to gain that information and not need, not have to have the research, like the home network security. What does it take to make it really safe? Well, I feel that would be a very popular program that 100, 150 residents would come and take part. But the other value added is residents are looking for assistance and help. Speakers looking for leads. They're looking for a group of people that they may be in business, to come and do an evaluation of someone's home network or help them make changes in that network. And that would be part of their business. Insurance agents, bringing Medicare information and helping them get into the right Medicare program. There's associations in town and in areas and cities that are involved in like the foster care programs, bringing information to the people that are looking for that. So it's bringing the people together, the speakers together that are needed.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. And the reason why I asked you is we had a very, very brief discussion about this yesterday.
Right.
And you were so full of energy. You were bubbling with energy. And today during the pitch, I am sorry to say I didn't find that energy. And if you go back and you listen to the recording, just the difference in your vocal pattern and in the energy between the pitch and answering the question that I asked you was already quite significant. Not as enthusiastic as you were yesterday, but it was quite a level of improvement. So one of my recommendations is to just work on this mental hurdle that we very often have that says, okay, now I'm in formal presentation mode and I have to become like the priest on Sunday morning, or I have to become like a politician that is, and just bring in a little bit more of that life that is in all of us. So that's enough from me right now. Stuart, why don't you start the round of real feedback here? What have you observed and how can you help Scott improve his message?
Yeah, well done, Scott. I enjoyed that. I think it's a very interesting idea. I think for me, the big headline would be, I'm still not sure I completely understand it. And that may mean that I've missed something. But of course, that's the concern, is if you don't fully understand it. For example, you were talking about HOAs. I'm a member of an HOA, but it's a very small one, and we would never do anything like this. So I'm still trying to understand, what exactly are we talking about? Is it, for example, a kind of retired living community type?
It can be.
Yeah.
And it would be generic. It would start like, I'm in one that has 10,000 residents.
Right. Okay.
I put on when I gave the information, it was an old number. It said 5,000, but we're growing so fast. We're at 10,000. We're probably going to get a maximum of 20,000 in a few years. It's just growing. But there's such a diverse group there.
Yes.
That the type of programs that can be provided in the HOA, which is really under a management company, obviously they market this area. They market people, and developers or home builders to come and build the homes. They want a good living environment. They provide concerts during the summer. They do different things, but they don't have programs such as this that will be a value added. Bringing a speaker in that's going to that has the excellent information for a particular topic. And, it would be very diverse in terms of the type of programs that could be possibly brought here.
And I think then you're trying to say that this is a kind of everyone wins situation. The
Right.
residents win from hearing things they want
Yes.
to know about.
And the
People get
speakers,
access.
right, and the speakers have access to a group of people that may be clients, and so the speakers will help in actually help pay for part of the program, the refreshments. There's not a lot of cost. There's some marketing, but if you look at it, and if you're a speaker, you potentially have 100 new leads in a program. It'd be very valuable for them, but also to the individuals for gaining information.
So I think for me, what would help would be a little bit of storytelling in the pitch to create. You sort of did, but create that scenario of the person that really wants something. And one thing to be careful about with, of course, I want to know more about. I know that's what you're calling the service or the product, but it's I. And I felt that you could easily at some point early on have said, what do you want to know more about? Because that's how this works. Otherwise it sounds like, hey, here are my specific interests, but actually that's not what the service is. But I think kind of creating a scenario, exactly how it would work, and these residents wanted to know about this, but they didn't know how to go about that. But after using I want to know more about, and again, how does it work? Do they make suggestions to the management company? Is there a central?
The program would have it where we would provide a whole series of surveys. So it would go out on a regular basis to make sure that we're looking for the programs in the future, and then that would then kick in the opportunity to find the right presenter of that particular topic that we were hearing from residents. And then of course the post session surveys to see how well it was received. The topic itself, the presenter, to make sure that that the information is what the residents were looking for, and the HOA, the management group, to make sure they're happy with what they're seeing too.
And then just very quickly, the last little thing I had was, when I hear I want to know more about, I straight away think Google, internet. And again, other people might be thinking that. So what is the, I mean, obviously it's a real speaker, for example, but what does this offer that going to the internet and Googling it doesn't offer? Would be something I would think should probably be addressed.
Exactly.
But thank you. Very good.
Great feedback. Thank you very much, Stuart. And moving on to Nathan. Nathan, what kind of feedback do you have for Scott?
All right. So I have a couple of questions I want to ask you first, and that is, what have you discovered by talking to the HOAs as to their response to your offering?
Right. So far, it's been excellent. The initial response is, especially since they don't want to put money into it, they don't want to spend money, right? And so having a program that is low cost to them, they'll have to have the activity center that holds 150 people available, the normal operations for that. But the rest of the program is essentially no cost to them. And they were excited to hear that, because they can then use it to their marketing program. They can then say, we have this monthly program, and if it grows, it may be twice a month. Right now, a monthly program that brings speakers to the residents, and then they like the idea of live streaming and recorded, because then it's a library of programs that they can show off, and especially the data of how well it was received.
Okay, good. I asked you that because I heard you say a bunch of things like, I feel this will be a popular program. And that's your opinion, and I was looking for validation on that. And it sounds like you're getting that data to help you. So this is an area where I think you can improve on your answer that you gave Claudio about what's the coolest aspect of what you're doing here. I think it's the right speaker, the right subject matter expert, so the residents can get the knowledge they're looking for. It sounds like it could be your secret sauce, but there's got to be more to it than that, because anybody working for the HOA can pick up the phone and call speakers. So
Right.
what's the, maybe you don't have to answer it right now, but it feels like this program needs some angle to it, some
Right.
fire
Right.
to set you apart from any other people trying to do what you're doing, which is lead
Right.
generation
Right.
with great speakers
Right.
who will provide value. And then if the residents want more, they'll buy their service. I mean, that's a great, it's a good model. And you should be able to get a fair number of really good quality speakers with that kind of an offering, because
Right. And that's exactly what my goal is to have not only, my list of tried and true speakers that we have, ongoing data, how well it's working, how well it's working for them.
Yeah.
And then that would go from one management group to the next, one HOA to the next. And that's the other aspect. The first question our HOA, asked was, well, can we just have it here? Can it be just our program and not shared? And of course, that's not something that we're interested in doing.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure I have much to add from what everybody else has said. They stole all my good stuff here. The Google wasn't mentioned at all. I feel like that is the elephant in the room here. All throughout your presentation, I'm thinking two things. Why don't I just go to Google and say, I want to know more about blank, and start trying to find it on my own?
Right.
So that's obviously something people will think about. Whether or not you want to deal with it in the presentation, I'd recommend something about, unlike Google, where you have to spend blah, 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 blah time finding blah, 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 blah. Our program literally puts the right speaker in front of the right residences at the right time, or whatever your value proposition is.
Right.
And the whole technical aspects of people in the room, live streaming, recorded and playback, that's all good. You're covering all the kinds of stuff that I'm pretty sure any program like this would want to offer.
Right.
So that's what I got for you. I feel like if you just restructure this, do what Stuart said, add a bit more of that story. I wasn't a big fan of your abrupt opening of saying,
I know.
I want to know more about. I feel like leading us into that set of questions in a different way would be more compelling. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I surely have constantly wondered, how can I find out more about X? Ever thought about that yourself? Of course, it's a common question we all ask.
Yeah.
Look what we can do for your residents. Something like that.
Good. Very good.
Okay, come back again. We'll be here.
Okay. I'm trying to get that record number of times.
Well, what is the record right now, Claudia? Is it 5?
It's actually already Scott's. I think this is your fifth or sixth time all together, but we are now going to reset the counter again, because this is a totally different concept, a totally different thing. So this is actually the first time that Scott is presenting this, and
no cheating here.
I also encourage you, of course, to come back. So let's move on to Massimo. Massimo, what kind of observations have you made, and how can Scott improve what he has done today?
Yeah, first of all, well, congratulations, because Stuart was not here on your very first or second pitch, and I had problems understanding what you were trying to tell us. But this time I was like 99% sure of what you were talking about. So tremendous progress on, at least on the delivering the real message. So kudos on that. What I was not really sure, maybe it was me, I didn't really hear that. The business model, meaning that as you said later, that basically it's a almost free thing for everybody, is a win-win situation, because the presenter will get potential clients, and the clients will get potentially a free presenter. That's what I understood later on, though. I didn't listen to this during the presentation. So I think people would be interested, yeah, I can hire a TEDx speaker. It's going to cost me, $2,000, So if you tell them it's almost free, it's good. But in general, as we always say, it's usually about emotions. So to me, it was kind of generic, flat. So I want to be scared. I want you to me fall in love. Like you were talking about IoT. So you can say, yeah, it's all nice and cool, switching your lights on and off. But somebody with a car can stay there and basically hack into your network and steal your habits. They know when you're at home or not, and they can plan how to come to steal from your home. I'm just making it up. Or either if it's something real or not, these are the company, they doing the landscaping, and they came up with this idea with flowers and bees, and we collect the honey and we give the honey back to all the homes, whatever, right? Just try to make me feel some more emotion about the story, so I get hooked up, because it was kind of a list of everything, but none of them, although interesting, it was not making me feeling excited. So that's what I wanted more. But yeah, I'm happy because I totally got whatever you were talking about, what you were presenting. And so out of the four or five pitches from before, you are already starting at level 3. So congratulations. Back to you, Claudio.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Massimo. And moving on to Rick. Rick, what kind of feedback do you have for Scott?
Okay. Scott, I like the concept. I agree with a lot of the other comments, but I think a good way to start it, instead of saying, I want to know, if you're talking to the HOAs, you could say, your residents want to know, and pick 1 or 2 and 3. And it took you like 45 seconds to get to the value. And then at around 1 minute, I found out that it was people actually showing up and giving talks. So I think you can in the first few seconds, say your residents want to know about, 2 or 3 things. There's a better way than asking Google. So I think that's a good transition, because then you've talked to, because otherwise, if I want to know about that, I'm going to ask Google. But then if you mention a few things that people would Google, say there's something better than Googling, it's bringing in qualified experts right to your facility. So I think that makes it clear of the value right away on what it is, and you can do that within the first 30 seconds. I think that will make it a lot more powerful.
Okay.
So I think that would work. A couple questions I had, though, is one, who vets the experts? If you're just in Colorado, you know them, but if you want to go to San Francisco Bay Area or Boston, who's going to vet the experts to make sure they aren't people who are going to take advantage of the residents or sell them things that are very profitable for them, but not good for the residents? And also, how do you make money? I mean, there's going to be the cost of live streaming it, of storing that. And you said it's free to the HOAs, it's free to the residents. Are the speakers paying to show up, or are you paying the speakers? So I think there's got to be something in there. Sustainability. This is how we can keep this program going and how we make money. So you've got to talk a little bit about that. But I think it's a great concept, as long as you can figure out a way to make money on it and to get qualified speakers who the residents aren't going to get upset. Oh, they sold me this $5,000 annuity that's useless or something like that. So I think that, but yeah, definitely Google, because you Google something like, if I Google crypto, or if I Google blockchain or home network security, I'm going to get 5 different, there'll be 5 different websites with 6 different opinions, and they'll all conflict with each other.
Right.
So by bringing in a qualified expert to explain it, so the people in that HOA can really understand what it is, then that's going to be beneficial. And moving that up front is fine. But yeah, looking forward to seeing your next one, Scott.
Yeah, okay. But thank you.
Excellent round of feedback, and I hope you have gotten what you came here for, Scott.
I have. This is great comments, and especially the whole concept of how to starting it out, the energy, and so and Massimo, I want to be at level. I want to be at level 1 next time. I'm gonna work myself, straight up to the top. So.
Very good, very good. And I think Massimo's feedback here was absolutely invaluable when it comes to the emotional impact that you can have, because you can really, really play with the frustration that we experience when we don't find what we are looking for. And then you bringing that relief, that there's so much that you can do here, playing with these two opposing emotions that we have when we are looking for some information, and some really quality information, right? And Rick made a comment about the results better than Google, and I think that's such a valuable comment as well. Nathan commented on it in the chat, and one of the things I think that people increasingly are getting from Google is that they're getting a lot of results, but they're not really getting what they're looking for. So,
and it's difficult. What I find too is difficult to put it all together to kind of concise information. Where in an hour's time, I can have a speaker that has done all the research, that's the expert. And going back to the question regarding the growth and finding the right speaker. Well, it's evaluating what they've done and how are they perceived in the market for their particular topic, and that will obviously be determined. And I've gone through the whole idea of the cost of this program. I've gone through some research as far as what speakers, if they're really in there looking for leads, they're going to be paying the price to come in here, but hopefully it's going to make a value added for them, that it's going to be less expensive, but also more successful in getting the individuals, for what they're looking for. So this was very valuable, very good information about the delivery and what I need to work on. And the whole concept of when the timer starts, what's my frame and my mindset as far as getting in there and doing the work.
Yeah. And that, of course, will also come, with experience over time. The more you do it, the more natural, of course, it becomes. So we always love to have you come back, Scott. Please do. And anybody else who is watching this, if you would like to get some feedback on your short pitch, it doesn't have to be an investor pitch. It can be a sales pitch or any other short message that you really, really want to nail down, then please visit the website presenterzone.com/pitchzone, and we will be more than happy to help you improve your pitch. And with that, I wish you all a tremendously wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. A big, big thanks to all of the coaches, and we shall see each other again next week.